formula. After 4 Wheels Car of the Year awards and a stranglehold on Australia's top-selling car title, Holden knew if it wanted to continue to lead, it needed to take the next big step.
It was a hard car to do because VT was so successful. It was a hard act to follow. But this was a great opportunity. We could do a car from the ground up this time. Now, previous Commodores were a donor from the Opel. This time it was different. This was our car.
Engineers usually roll their eyes when they hear designers going on about proportion, but our engineering team were really focused on helping design get the proportions that they want.
It was a great chassis to go with it. It looks the part and it goes well.
We needed the car to be world competitive. We wanted to really improve the car to a level that could hold its head high anywhere in the world.
The VE project was a coming of age for Holden. VE drove off the launch catwalk and into the hearts of Australians everywhere. It confirmed General Motors' confidence in Holden's design, engineering and manufacturing capability. Holden's VE has gone on to blitz its competition. It was named Wheels Car of the Year in 2006 and secured praise from some of motoring journalism's hardest to impress.
They were given a clean sheet of paper, and that was a very rare thing for an Australian car company to be handed. And they kicked it. They kicked a goal. When you looked at it, you got that sort of slight jaw-dropping sense of wow. It wasn't just a good-looking body. They'd done the hard work under the skin, and they'd engineered a really good platform under that car. The net result was a good driving Commodore.
The thing about the VE is, we couldn't believe that Holden had spent $1 billion on a car for a start, but then to actually see it and understand the excitement around it, because it is a genuinely new Australian car. There was a huge buzz at the time. What people forget is just how successful that car was as well. I mean, it was a jaw dropper. It changed the way people thought about Holden and about the Commodore, and I think it was a real landmark car, not just for Holden, but for the whole Australian industry.
With the VE sedan going gangbusters, the Ute and Wagon were next. After the break, we say hello to Ute and Sport Wagon and say goodbye to a Holden hero.
He just connected with people who were interested in cars and racing and Holdens. It was magic like that.
Welcome back. Later in the show, we've got some great old commercials to show you. Plus, we take the effigy, Holden's most famous show car, for a spin. But Holden's story doesn't end at this latest sedan. Utes have been significant in Holden's lineup since it produced its first volume production model in 1951. This useful design, giving load carrying capacity with driver comfort, captured the hearts of Australians, and the love affair continues.
You need a Ute that you can trust, and that's Holden.
Over the years, Utes have expanded.
What do I want from a Ute? I want value for money. Value when I buy. Value when I trade. And Holden's been designed for Australia, just like any other native. It'll survive where other Utes won't. And the rolling wheels are Holden.
You know, over the last 60 years, Holden's embraced change many times. Just recently, some Commodore models have been refined to further improve fuel economy. But as you'll see, petrol is not the only fuel Holden's been looking at.
During this recessionary period internationally, we're going to get a respite. There's going to be a fair bit of oil around. So it does give us an opportunity to stand back a bit and just say, well, what are our priorities now?
Every car maker in the world is sort of looking for a solution. I think what Holden's doing is very intelligent. They're going for sort of, if you like, a Chinese meal. They're going to have a number of things that work for different models at different times. And as we go forward, there's a lot more efficiency left in the internal combustion engine. They're looking for ways to exploit that, but also looking what comes after petrol.
So, to reduce reliance on imported oil, what's Holden doing about it?
LPG is particularly attractive in Australia because we produce a lot of it, and we have very good resources of LPG, and essentially we'd be crazy not to use it. We intend to apply this, as we already have with the Commodore, with the dual fuel, and give customers extended range and much lower driving cost. The fundamentally there's no substantial difference between LPG and petrol, and our application within the Commodore is a high-tech application, and it's had all the same engineering rigour associated with it that we engineer the rest of our products. Yeah, obviously the next step would be to have a dedicated LPG system and optimise the engine fully to run just on LPG, and there's further efficiency gains that we could make there.
So don't panic. Petrol will still be there, but Holden is looking at all fuels, and LPG and diesel are great first steps. Renewable fuels like ethanol are here right now. E10 is a blend of 10% ethanol with unleaded petrol and can be used across almost the entire Holden range. And if all goes to plan, Holden is hoping to see a widespread rollout of E85 pumps using 85% ethanol across the country in the future.
It's all about diversity, and that's really the way of the future. We need to take on all these diversified sources such as LPG, ethanol and biofuels. Ethanol is another fuel that we need to take advantage of, because in ensuring that we have energy security, we must use all the fuels available. There is no one answer. It's probably the only renewable fuel that's available in the near term that can be used in substantial quantity.
I think it's important to demonstrate leadership on things like locally produced E85 fuel. It is simply the right thing to do. We're going to take, again, the leadership position with Ecoline and get our E85 cars out there.
Well, I think with E85, we're looking for two things. We're looking for some leadership from government, because that's really what it comes down to. And we also need a bit of a PR move. E85 for Australia makes a huge amount of sense. What we really need to do is get it out there, get the mass market happening, and get people to understand that they don't have to stop eating so that they can put fuel in their cars.
We'd all prefer fuel that's better for the environment. Fuel that's produced from byproducts of sugar and wheat. It's a lot to take in, but it's great how Holden is looking to push ahead with this technology.
Well, active fuel management is a very exciting technology, and we're going to be into mass production here with Holden V8s here very shortly.
AFM, or cylinder deactivation, enables an 8-cylinder vehicle to automatically operate on 4 cylinders in certain driving conditions, before restoring full power when engine demands increase.
I think we're going to see a big fuel savings here with our V8 engines, and still offer all the performance and advantages that V8s offer to our customers.
How good is that? You get V8 power when you need it and 4-cylinder efficiency when cruising. But that's not where it ends. Imagine a future where clean energy derived from wind and solar generation charged your electric car for your daily commute. The extended range vehicle Volt, due in Australia in 2012, takes us one step closer to the zero emissions dream.
We're going to give you an electric car, but we're also going to give you a battery recharging mechanism in your car. It is an electric car, but it's an electric car that recharges itself, so think about it that way.
What hooked me when I first saw the Volt at the Detroit Motor Show was that it had an internal combustion engine that actually charged the batteries in the car. So although it's an electric car, to all intents and purposes, it still uses current, internal combustion technology to keep the batteries charged.
For most commuters, for their standard commute each day, they will be running purely in electric mode only. And when they get home, they'll recharge in a few hours and they'll be ready to go again the next day. So for most people, it will mean the engine will never actually even need to fire up.
I think electric cars generally are going to be game changers, and I think they're going to be accepted fairly quickly, and they're going to come to significant numbers in the market in a relatively short space of time. In the next decade, I think we're going to see electric vehicles as a common thing on our roads rather than an absolute rarity.
Holden's got a very long history of innovation. It has got a very proud history of introducing new and novel concepts into vehicles going back over 50 years.
Our future relies on smart thinking from companies like Holden. Ecoline is about providing customers with a range of cars that provide better fuel efficiency today, while continuing to develop next-generation fuel advances that are more efficient and better for the environment. It's not just about the future. Diesel versions of the Epica, Astra and Captiva, as well as Commodores that run on LPG, are available right now. After the break, the party continues, but first, everyone's got a favourite Holden. I know what mine is. It's my beautiful Monaro. What's yours?
Kind of lean towards the EH though. I think it was very elegant for its time, very streamlined, nice shape, nice proportion. Plus my dad owned one for many years.
Yeah, without a doubt, the Monaro would be my favourite recent Holden, just because I thought it perfectly embodied that sense of European style with American muscle that I think is our unique niche, really.
I like seeing again the old 48-215 and the FJ models were favourites of mine.
My all-time favourite Holden? Effigy, has to be. So much passion, history, but futuristic at the same time.
Welcome back. Well, we couldn't have had a celebration without seeing some of those fearless daredevils doing crazy stunts in Australia's own car. It's been quite a journey, and clearly Holden's come a long way. Everyone in Australia has been touched in some way by this great company. It's our own car company. It's woven within the Australian fabric, and we each view it very differently.
I think Holden's got a very talented, group of engineers and designers within the company. We see that exhibited again and again with some of the fantastic concepts, and engineering has always been a key part of Holden's DNA. And so, yeah, I think they can innovate again.
They're honest cars. They're very affordable. They're great value for money. They give most people more than they need. They're roomy, they're comfortable, they're reliable. You enjoy driving them.
What Holden stands for today, it will stand for in the future, and that is a tremendous range of products that offer high value but also are just a little bit of a cut above other brands. So we've got a great basis on which to jump into the future here, and I think people understand that and really look to us to lead Australia again in the auto industry into the future, and we will.
But I've got to say, a lot of the highlights of my life I link to events surrounding Holdens. You know, from my earliest days riding in the back of cars right through to racing a V8 supercar at Bathurst with a Holden badge on the front. So thank you.
I'm very proud to work at Holden. I just really enjoy contributing to a national icon. And then you get those barbecue moments when a stranger comes up to you and says, "What do you do?" "I design cars at Holden." It's a proud feeling.
Yes, you don't get much more Australian than Holden. I think it's like Vegemite, isn't it?
My favourite car is the one that's coming off the line this 76 seconds.
Times like these allow us all to look back and see the massive amount that Holden has accomplished.
Holden is proud of the achievements made over the last 60 years. The global auto industry is moving so fast, and Holden's involved at the very highest level. We design and engineer rear-wheel drive cars for the world, and we're building them in big numbers. In 1948, we were asked to build a car for Australia, and we're not about to stop now. 60 years making Holdens is a long time, but it's only the start of our plans here. The Holden badge will always be on the cars that Australians love to drive.
So, happy birthday, Holden. 60 years and going stronger than ever.
And may there be many, many more.
Absolutely. And the last word has to be from Jack Rawnsley.
Happy birthday, Holden.